Hi, friends. This is your host, Adnan Ali, and we have another exciting personality with us today, Nadia. Nadia, she's a co founder of FIC Group and Chocola Cafe Indonesia. She has joined us all the way from Indonesia. She's an online trainer, speaker. She was awarded the Indonesia's Women Leader Award in 2018. She's also the ambassador of Internations, which is internet social network platform connecting locals and expatriates, and the top person with regards to philanthropy. She's highly passionate in entrepreneurship, personal branding, self-development, marketing, and book reviewing. She's a civil engineer and turned to a social entrepreneur. Her aim is to give a positive impact to society through social entrepreneurship. Thank you so much, Nadia, for joining us all the way from uh, Indonesia. Salamat malam. I hope you're doing
Ya,
great.
halo. Ya, selamat malam. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's afternoon here in Dubai, and I believe it's night in Indonesia. But we are connected online, so thanks to COVID-19,
Yes.
that has given us a time to connect with the great people around us, so that we can bring them to our platform and show to the world that what they are doing. So how's thing in Indonesia in terms of COVID-19? How the businesses are coping with it?
Yeah, actually in Indonesia now the case is still increasing, but now governments start doing some protocols because we need to face the new normal either in Jakarta, Surabaya, and Bali because they're in their thinking we need to keep going with the economy, but also we need also they also thinking about the safety and health. So but economy need to be protected also, so now everyone like in Surabaya also now everyone able to do dine in, but 50% of the total capacity, and Jakarta also in this end of June it will start new normal, so hopefully in July, everything will be normal with the new normal protocol. Yes, something like that.
Great, great. And how's your
Yes.
business coping up with that? Your chocolate business?
Yeah, actually in Chocola, our concept is a dine-in concept, but we have also doing delivery. So we do collaboration or partnership with Gojek. It's like GoFood and also GrabFood. It's actually platform ride hailing, but they also like food delivery. So we do collaboration or partnership with them. Actually, in terms of movement, we have some movement and our business is moving, but of course it's slow. We cannot lie on that. There is progress, but of course we need to adapt with the current situation. So let's see. Yeah, but so far we try to adjust this current regulation. So hope things will be better soon. And currently also we do change some business model more to delivery, and we also reducing some size of the chocolate product, so it will be better for the customers in terms of receiving the products, something like that.
Thank you, Nadia.
Yes.
Before we go in deep into to learn something about from you, tell us about yourself. Anything which is not there on your profile, which people normally don't know, and you would like to share something about yourself, maybe something about your childhood or anything.
Actually, yes. Many people thinking like if they don't know me, they think that I'm quite cold person. If they don't know me, sometimes in social media or either it's LinkedIn, Instagram, because I'm quite serious person in terms of business or work matter. But when they come to know me, let's say first meeting, let's say face to face or Zoom meeting like this, then they come to know that I'm not that cold. So I can be fun or not that serious also. Just that sometimes in terms of work, in terms of business, for people take me seriously, sometimes I need to maintain my serious character, something like that.
Great, great. So
Yes.
you are an Indonesian. You born in I believe you born in Indonesia. How is it being growing up in an Indonesian society? How is it? How's the experience?
Actually, grow up from Indonesian family. It's very nice. I mean, the people here, we are born like naturally humble. So I meet a lot of friends, either local expatriate. Many people say that Indonesians are very warm and humble. Have you ever been to Indonesia before, Mr. Adnan?
Unfortunately not, but it's on my bucket list and definitely I'm gonna be there. Give me an advice. How is it like? How is it in terms of tourism and all that? When the borders will open up and the flights will resume, definitely we're gonna go and see those beautiful places.
Yes, in Indonesia, actually, one of the most best tourism place is actually Bali and Lombok. Everyone from Dubai, from Australia, from Thailand, Malaysia, they like to spend their holiday in a Bali actually. So because Bali is very nice, and let's say we want to do like home and holiday work together. It's very nice there. So the people also humble in Bali. So basically in Indonesia we have a different culture, and we have also different language. So I'm Japanese, so I have a language that Balinese don't understand. So does the Balinese. I don't know their language also. So we have so many cultures. We have so many islands. But naturally, we are born humble, and we like to meet new people. We like to talk with new people and these kind of things. Yes.
Great, great. So you're an entrepreneur at such a young
Yes.
age. Why?
Yes.
Normally, people in your age are, like just working for some other, working for different companies and corporates. Why you have your own business, and what's the idea behind that? And how's the experience?
Okay, regarding entrepreneurship is actually previously I was raised by my father. He was a businessman before, and then of course in business sometimes there is up and down. And my father used to be successful that time, but sometimes business is not that good in terms of a partnership. So some of the business was okay, but there was a problem in terms of assets, so he got cheated based on that. So how I started entrepreneurship is actually I didn't plan to do entrepreneurship before, but I love to do networking. So like sometimes I go alone to exhibition, or sometimes I go to conferences, seminars. Then I met one of person, let's say randomly, I met someone, and that person actually offered me to do business when I was in that conference. It's called GCC, Jakarta Convention Center. So actually, I didn't plan to do business, but because I got a chance to meet my angel investor that time, so we did business together, something like that.
You said your father was cheated by in the business, and that was a sad incident in your life. How was that experience?
Yeah, actually, that experience, there is a positive impact and negative impact on me, of course. The negative impact, of course, because I know my father used to be successful that time. So and when life changed him in terms of financially, people, especially his best friend, suddenly like gone. It's like part of life that I knew this in early stages, in young ages. I was maybe around that time, around 10 years old or 15 years old. So I didn't know anything about life. So I was thinking that how come someone can leave someone else in terms of the finance if not good. So it's the negative thing that I got a little bit trauma about being close with friends or this kind of things. But there is, of course, positivity in terms of my character. It makes me it actually made me ambitious. So I was lazy that time, but when I went through this kind of things, and I know what my father felt, so I became motivated, I became ambitious, and suddenly I became diligent. I read books, and then I studied hard when I was in uni. Then until now, then the ambitious is more and more, because what I saw in my previous or past life, it was not fair for my family, especially my father. He was good with people, and then suddenly people left him because the financial was bad. It's actually create me to be motivated to change this kind of social injustice, and I want to. So that's why I think about the future, what I should do to make people understand that life is not about kindness is matter, and this kind of thing is not good. Cheating is not good. So, but to be entrepreneur should be ready with this kind of things, this kind of message that normally daily in my daily post I always post this kind of message, so people can be aware that entrepreneurship is not as easy as people thought, but it can be done if we have the good knowledge and we have a good heart. The things will be better and better indirectly. Yes.
Thank you so much, Nadia, for enlightening on your father's story and how it has impacted your life. And you're a
Yeah.
great example of resilience. You're a great example of someone who doesn't take the challenge as an obstacle, but someone who has taken the challenge as a challenge, and you come up with that, and you establish your business. And it's not that you kind of gave up on that and you thought like, okay, I mean, if I start something of my own, then I'll face difficulties and adversities. So you've taken that challenge and you are successful, and you've been awarded as the like the award for Asian women leader award in 2018. How
Yeah.
was that feeling?
Actually, I didn't expect it. I didn't expect that one to be happen. Just that some of my friends recommended me. Like there was some women in the choices, and my friends recommended me to get the award. So I was actually happy, nominated by them, awarded by them also. Yes. Of
Great,
course,
great.
it's something such an honor for me.
But it's not a rosy picture all the time being in entrepreneurship. What are the challenges normally you face, and being a woman as well?
Yes.
What are your challenges? I mean, can you please enlighten us on that?
Yes, in entrepreneurship, there is so many challenges, especially like in terms of staff turnover, especially if it's early stage startup or early stage business, because of course, whether there is SOP, whether there is regulation, sometimes like the staff turnover, because in Indonesia here, there is no such regulation that in China there is this kind of regulation. Let's say a staff want to move from company A to the company B. In China, there is regulation that before moving from company A to company B, they need to go to like a third party in terms of mediator or this kind of things before they jump to another company. But in Indonesia, especially my staff is generation Z. It's like younger than millennial, so they like to like the way they thinking. It's like still they want more challenge, they want faster, higher salary, this kind of thing. So it's a kind of challenge for me in terms of let's say we already trained them for 1 or 2 or 3 months, and then suddenly someone else from other cafe or restaurant approach them and then offer them higher salary. It's kind of not fair, but we have to face this kind of things. But because in Indonesia there is no third party or third party mediator for a staff to jump from company A to B or Z, because there is no this kind of thing. So we need to face with like a higher salary or better approach with them. So it's actually normal in Indonesia, especially for startup company. Like the staff turnover is very very high. So especially the young generations, they like to jump from company A to company B within 1 or 2 months. It's like not surprising anymore.
Apart
Like
from to staff turnover, there could be
yeah.
other challenges as well, like cash flows,
Yes,
like marketing,
yes,
branding. maybe people are judging that,
Yes.
okay, it's a woman, like she has started a business.
Yes.
So what about those challenges?
Yes, of course, because I'm women and I'm young. Sometimes people didn't know, like, let's say we now doing face-to-face talk, or sometimes before, of course, there is some misunderstanding with people. Okay, this Nadia is young, this Nadia is a woman. Like, how good is she? Like people assume like that, especially because I like to dress casual sometimes when I go out to my cafe or meet people. So sometimes before, if they know me, if they didn't know me personally, they assume like, okay, this how good is she, or this kind of thing. But when they know me better, in let's say already met one time or two time and talk regarding work or business, then they start thinking, oh, this Nadia is having good connection and know how to do business or work, this kind of thing. But of course, in term of because I'm women and I'm young, so of course this kind of being misunderstood is quite often. So it's actually it doesn't surprise me anymore. But previously, yes, because this kind of thing, because I'm women and young, and they thought that I have a lack of knowledge in terms of business and all. I used to be misunderstood, but it doesn't matter for me.
Wow, that's great. I mean,
Yes.
you just go with the flow and you are not
Yes.
bothering about those negative people, negativity which is
Yeah.
around you. Because if you
Yes.
pay attention to such negativity, you will always be conscious, and you will not, like
Yeah.
focus on your own goals.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
Yes.
that's great. Nadia,
Yeah.
what about
Yeah.
cash flow? How you managing cash flow? Is cash flow one of the most important thing in business? And if it is, so how you are handling the cash flow issue in the business?
Yeah, in terms of cash flow, let's say in early stage business, of course, to grow, we need more marketing budget. Of course, we face this kind of difficulties also, especially there is this kind of moment like crisis due to COVID-19. But of course, there was trial and error in every stage of business. Either it's time to time, month to month. So of course now we know how to manage the cash flow. Previously, the most important thing about cash flow is the operation first. The operation is and staff. So this thing is the most important thing. So that the other expense, such as for marketing, for our own expense as the management or owners, we reduce as much as we can in order to cover all the operation stuff, and including the ingredients of the cafe, if there is chocolate and all, and the last it should be the marketing. So if the operation movement is covered and staff happy to work, then we need to think regarding the marketing part, something like that. So it's we faced this kind of challenge before, but because we already more than 1 year, almost 2 years now for the cafe, so now we know how to adjust the cash flow movement,
And how is your
something like
business
that.
adjusting to the new normal situation where people will not be coming to the cafe and for dine in? What's your
Yeah,
strategy, and how you are changing your business model to adapt to the new
yeah.
post COVID-19 era?
Okay, so actually our concept is 60% dine-in, 40% delivery. Now we change the model, 70% delivery, 30% dine-in, because the capacity, let's say we have seat 60 seats. Maximum of the capacity we need to accept in terms of dine-in should be 30. So the rest of it we change to delivery movement. We already tied up with GoFood, we already tied up with the GrabFood also. Now we have our own apps also, because this kind of apps like food delivery, they charge us because of course to use their food platform, they want also profit from that. So now we have also our own apps in terms of delivery and tracking. So So all of our customers know the update of our products, and also we also reduce of the size of the products. Previously, we have like medium to large size because our concept is medium high. So now we reduce the sizing of the waffles and our products, so we can grab the customers from any levels, like either medium or students and all. Previously, we have some students because our concept is premium concept, but due to this corona, people now try to hold their cash. So we reduce some of the size of our products. So people in like students, or so we can grab from any levels of our customers. And it also improves our cash flow time to time. Let's say this, we have just previously we only open for delivery these 2 months. So now we open for dine-in, but there is a maximum capacity which is 50% of the total seat. So we try to improve some of the things. Also, we also want to put something for like groceries things. I don't say it's like a retail, but we are also selling some ingredients in terms of the food to our apps platform. But in terms of dine-in, we don't sell it because we want to stick on in our core business as a chocolate cafe. But
So
in the apps, we yes.
Yeah, you've diversified your business on the your mobile app where people can um, buy the grocery stuff as well. So that's great. It's need of the hour. Being an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
it's not easy job
Yes.
because you're working late nights. You are like waking early morning, and your focus is mainly on your business. And during these tough time, obviously your focus is more. And your friends, obviously you will not have time for your friends or maybe for family. In that case, they might misunderstand you. They might think that you're proud and all that thing. How you are managing all these juggling all these ball at the same time?
Yeah, actually, in life, I experienced many things, so it actually helped me to make decision. I used to have so many friends and all, and sometimes in early stage business, especially this past 5 years, because I need to focus on building the business. So I rather to be with people or friends that they know that I have business, so I need to focus on my work. And also most of my friends actually they are the one also that they are ambitious. So basically I join in kind of business association in Indonesia. The name is like HIPMI, GCI, Kadin. So this kind of association is actually mostly like a young entrepreneurs. So either we go for dinner, or we go for breakfast, or we go for lunch. Of course, we have some funny talks, but in the end, we always discuss regarding work, like business and work opportunities, and sometimes politics. So we have like some. I'm surrounded by like-minded people in terms of friendship, and I'm happy be with them. So because we have, sometimes they are busy also, so I need to understand them. Sometimes I'm busy also, say they also can understand me. So this kind of friendship actually is very helpful for me, because of course I used to be misunderstood quite a lot actually, because sometimes, Nadia, you are very difficult to be met with. Why you so busy? Sometimes like now, let's say we are in Saturday and we have a meeting, right? So the people, my family, my friends, they can understand with my rhythm of work. I like to do work, so they can understand that.
And if you feel tense, you can eat your own chocolate. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, it makes it do helping. Actually, my friends also tell me sometimes, this chocolate, I don't know, it's and I say it's due to scientists. Scientists say that chocolate can make you happy, so come again and again. I say like that.
Great. You started your business, Nadia, as in the like you mentioned in some conference. But when if I take my example, when I go to the conferences, like there's so many people, unknown people that I'm like I have no idea, and I'm going there, and even if I spend like 2 3 hours, I feel like,
Yeah.
I mean, my heart is stopped. I don't want to talk to the audience, like to those strangers out there, to make
Yeah.
connections. But
Yes.
how you start the conversation, and how you kind of build relationship at such places where you don't know anyone.
Okay. Actually, I used to be shy to go to kind of a seminar or conferences or exhibition alone at that time. So I used to be very dependent with my friends, especially like there is, let's say, Hong Kong, Indonesia meeting, HKTDC, the name, or maybe Middle East, Indonesia, this kind of thing. So last time I used to be very dependent to my friend. If they go, I will also go. If they cannot go, so I will not go. So this kind of things I didn't like. So I decided to go to seminars and conferences and exhibitions alone. So then to talk with people actually at that time, because I used to be engineer. So I like to see like new products in the market. So at that time, there is a Jakarta Convention Center. It's actually there is a Infrastructure Asia, the name of the seminar or exhibition. So basically, many suppliers from China, Middle East, India, and many other countries coming to Jakarta to show their product. So at that time, there also something like it's actually hosted or managed by the event organizer as well. So there is like a one-on-one meeting. So we know like we register on that one-on-one meeting, so we can accept or reject someone that asks us to the meeting, or we can also invite someone to join the meeting. So that time I was asked by someone unknown to do meeting, like one-on-one like face-to-face meeting at that exhibition. So like normal meeting, like show me your product or what do you do, this kind of thing. So it was actually a random talk. So I didn't expect there was business after that conversation, because it was casual talk, like normal casual talk. Yes.
Great. So you took initiative. You were shy, but you kind of built your confidence, and
Yeah.
you had a smile, and you are open to meet the new people. And people are not closed-minded. People are willing to listen to
Yeah.
you. People are willing to accept you as you are. But I think it's our own limitation in our head that we think, yeah, oh, might be if I'll go and talk to him, what he will feel or what she will feel. But people are
Yeah.
willing to listen. People are willing to network. So that's great, and this is how you strived your business. You're so
Yeah.
busy. You're so busy as an entrepreneur. What do you do as fun, as hobby? What makes you? What keeps you going? What gives you energy as a uh, like that keeps your hormones going, and that you are energetic all the time.
Okay. Actually, because I love working, because I love to be in front of camera now, and I love to discuss business. So basically, I enjoy this kind of things. So
What I mean
in
is,
terms of fun,
in terms of your
yeah,
hobbies, you listen to
yeah,
music, you listen to, like whatever. So share your hobbies, please.
yeah, listen music. I love to read some books, and sometimes I love also doing some browsing regarding many things, either politics or also new music, new
What
trend
kind
of
of, what,
business. So
what kind
yeah,
of business?
actually, I like some.
Sorry,
Yes,
what kind of music you listen to?
actually, I love trance, something
Uh,
like Armin van Buuren, and it's actually quite hardcore, but I really like, and hip hop. So it's actually quite fun to be heard, especially weekend, and want to relax my mind. So I enjoy this kind of energetic music. So it make me, especially sometimes even in the morning before I do some activities, I like to turn on music and like dance for a while, just to make me relax and enjoy the rest of my day.
oh, that's great. That's great. So you will have a good voice, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, Maybe, I don't know. I don't think so. Yeah.
Okay, so you're not pursuing to be a professional singer or something like that.
Actually, I used to join something like choir or music competition that time, but time to time, I think it will be only part of my fun time. Let's say, I think my passion is more to business side, more serious side, but in terms of entertainment, music, still part of myself. So I love, but not for my passion, but for my hobbies, for my fun time, for relax time, entertainment. It's I love it.
Okay, so
Yeah,
business is your main focus. Who's your
yeah.
favorite or ideal businessman or entrepreneur, and why?
I actually like Gary Vaynerchuk.
Okay.
Also, I like Elena Cardone. Elena Cardone is wife of Grant Cardone, and basically they like to motivate people. I like Jay Shetty also.
Oh,
I
that's
like
nice.
also I like also Vishen. It's the founder of Mind Valley. I like this kind of they are success, but they want to give a social impact to the society, like more to like philanthropy things, because I used to face many roller coaster things in my life, so I think I should give this kind of message so people can be feeling better if they face this kind of difficulties or hurt or something like that. Yes.
Great. You're having a very successful life, mashallah, and we can see it on your profile and everywhere. But every person definitely faced adversities, difficulties, failures,
Yeah.
rejections, and these kind of thing. And I'm sure your life will not be, like spare from those things. If you
Yeah.
faced, and if you want to share any of those incidents and how you cope up with that, and how you kind of gather yourself and come back to your track. Please share your
Okay.
experience.
I used to listen negativities a lot. Like, let's say, I used to hear people say that your voice is not good, and you cannot be so that serious. You are serious person. You cannot have fun. It's many things. Especially I live in Asian country or Indonesia, which is majority Muslim. So sometimes many people want to like dictate me, like, okay, you need, your voice is not nice, or you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do like this kind of things. But now I know, the more I listen to them, the more I it's actually not a big deal for me. Previously I was thinking it's like a big deal, because it consume my energy, it consume my mind a lot, because I always constantly thinking about their talk, like you are fat, you are not look good in the camera, or your voice is not nice, this kind of things. And there is some jealousy things also between friends, because now I'm more busy. Sometimes they think I don't have time for them, so many things. But now I know that my happiness and my focus, and the most important thing for me is my family and my father, because I used to feel that he was sad and broken with what happened in his life. So it's my focus. So what happened with other people that judge or think negatively of me, it's not a big deal for me anymore.
Wow, such a great and
Yes.
such a warrior thought. You're not, I mean, others people's opinion is not your destiny. Others people
Yeah.
opinion is for them. It's none of my
Yeah.
business, and I need to look at my
Yes.
life, and I'm responsible for my destiny. So this is the great attitude, and I
Yes.
like that attitude. And with this attitude,
Thank you.
mashallah, you are successful and you're happy and you're having a great time in your life. And I've seen people who are miserable, who are looking at others people opinion, and like they're blaming other people and they're
Yeah.
listening to other people's voice. I've always seen them facing difficulties in life because all they want is negativity, and life gives
Yeah.
them lots of negativities. Yes, you like negativity,
Yes.
here is like negativities, here is adversities, here is problem for you. And if you are
Yes, agree.
someone, if you are someone who, you know, like who doesn't care about that, and you are always positive, life always rewards you with, you know,
Yes.
like lots of successes and great.
Yeah.
Nadia, you are into personal branding as well, like, and
Yes.
also you are into marketing as well for your business.
Yeah.
How one can take care of their personal branding or marketing to make a mark for themselves in the crowded world where everyone is talking and there's a noise out there?
Yeah, basically, for personal branding, because of course the goal is for the corporate or a company or business branding, but because like personal branding is like a development of create a good mark in front of people. So it's basically like reputation in online and offline. So and also being entrepreneur or doing entrepreneurship is my passion. So it's like I develop my day-to-day activity. Sometimes I expose in my social media, sometimes no, but I always show people the way I need to dress professionally. I need to talk professionally in offline, in front of my friends, and in front of my family, in online also. So this kind of things actually the goal of the personal branding is actually for the corporate branding. So if they believe on me in terms of a business or in terms of me as a good character and trustworthy, they will buy my product. And I know some of my friends actually come to my cafe or come to me. It's actually because they are comfortable to discuss their problems, or sometimes their own if they have business, their business to share to me. So I feel glad also. Sometimes indirectly they buy my products if they come to my cafe, because he or she want to discuss with me in terms of their problem. So indirectly they buy my products for meeting me. So it's like something like win-win situation. I help them for their life consultation or whatever. So they also buy my product. So it's actually quite win-win situation. So I'm happy with this kind of movement. So I'm actually having some of my friends, sometimes they share to me face to face, like let's say they have a problem in a business, because they trust me as a personal, as individual. So they trust also my products as a whole combination.
Great. So even for friends, no free chocolates.
Yes, sometimes I give because sometimes I offer them also, and you don't need to pay. Oh, no, Nadia, I'm a business person also, so I need to pay. So actually more to they respect me, because doing business also not easy. So they actually always willing to pay, because sometimes of course if I invite them for important meetings and all, of course I freeze the bill. But sometimes they are actually the one that no, Nadia, I should pay. You're my friend, but I need to pay this kind of thing.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. It was great having you at our show, Nadia. We really learned
thank
a
you.
lot from you at such a young age. You are driving a business. Being a female in Indonesia, in that
Yes,
society, is it a challenge or is it something is an advantage?
being female in Indonesia is actually in terms of work is actually now it's okay. I mean, many companies also they accept women, either it's in top management also. So in Indonesia it's not that conventional. So in Indonesia some of the top management or owners, they also value women, because now time to time we already been modern also, so they value women opinion, they value women choices. So actually, much better compared the previous one. So actually, it's not that big challenge anymore for women to want to do business or want to do some work. It's actually not that big deal anymore. Of course, there is like being misunderstood if being young and women, but time to time it's like there is some improvement on that. So it's actually better.
Great, great. And if things will better in terms of flights resumes and all that, and people who are listening right now and they will visit Indonesia, how they can,
Yeah.
like get a nice cafe, which we are talking about is Chocola. How they can get over there? What's the address for that?
Oh, okay. The address is in Chocola Cafe. It's in Tunjungan Plaza 3, Level 3, Surabaya. It's in Indonesia, but hopefully soon we will open also one of other branches, and I will inform you first before you inform to the audience.
Great, great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And before we sign off, any other words, any final message, anything that you want to share with the audience today with us?
What I want to share is who know the best about you and your future, it's yourself. You don't need to, okay, like a family, friends, best friends, or whoever will give some advice, but who know the best in terms of your life and your future is yourself. You need to know how to scale between your heart and your logic or your brain. So you are the one that know the best for your future. Never blame anyone to make for decision that you make, something like that.
Great. Thank you so much, Nadia, for your time. And it was
You are
great having you
welcome.
at our show. Thank you so much. With this, viewer, we will
You,
sign off for, yeah, you were saying something?
no, I'm so happy also to talk with you, Mr. Anand, such an honor, and hope in Dubai everything is safe also there.
Everything is safe. We are trying to fight this COVID-19. Businesses
Yeah,
are back to normal because yes, we have accepted that this is a new normal with SOPs, with precautions. If you want to do business, then it's possible. Wear face mask, maintain a social distance, wear gloves,
yeah,
wash your hands. So whatever you can do in your best interest and best interest of society, because we're all responsible to save us and save the society. So
yes,
we are trying to do that. The businesses were closed some few weeks back, but now it's back to normal. And the government of UAE is doing great job in terms of fighting the disease. The society of UAE is doing great, and the number of cases have dropped. So we've touched the peak as well sometimes back. The cases are, like reducing now. So hopefully we can say if it's mid of June, maybe my bit of July or August, we can see that there will be a ray of hope that will come to uh, a better, like in terms of the there could be no cases at all. So I wish and I pray that we come out of this together and we come out more strong and stronger than ever. And same
yes,
same wishes for Indonesia, same wishes for the whole world, and people
yes,
who have like friends or family members who've got positive, so they don't need to be negative, they need to be positive over here to fight this
yeah,
disease. Yeah.
yes, very agree. Yes,
Thank you so much for your time again, and we will
yeah,
touch base again to see how your business is, how life is, and we'll bring you on this platform, and we'll be in touch. Thank you so much, Nadia, and thank you so much, viewer, for your time. We had a great discussion with Nadia, and we learned a lot that even if you are young, even if you're female, even if you are living anywhere in any part of the world, whatever your circumstances are, you are the one who can decide either you want to be successful or either you want to be miserable and a victim. We've seen that Nadia is a warrior. Nadia is someone who is a successful business women lady, so we can all be and she can be an example for every one of us. Thank you so much. Take good care of yourself. We'll meet again with another exciting personality. Take care.
Thank you.